What's up, everybody? How we doing? I am back with some more NBA reactions. This time we have NBA players that went to jail. I don't really know too many NBA players that went to jail. I do know of like LiAngelo Ball stealing something in a different country, and I think he did time for that. But outside of that guy, I don't really know anybody else. I know that KCP did go to jail, the guy who plays on the Lakers. But I don't really know many players that has been to prison or been to jail or whatever. So let's go ahead and find out about which NBA players have been behind bars. Let's do it.
One player committed so many crimes, he had to play NBA games wearing an ankle monitor, while
No
another
way.
did something so horrible, it ended his career forever. These are the NBA players that went to jail. And J.R. Smith didn't just go to jail. He made a mistake that cost him his best friend's life. During the early 2000s, J.R. was making a name for himself in basketball, but
By the way, JR could have been easily an all-star. Could have been easily an all-star. At one point, I thought he was an all-star. If you look at J.R. Smith's Denver highlights back in the day, this man was sensational. I just feel like his game just kind of dropped off. Maybe some stuff in his life had occurred, but he was one of my favorite players at one point. Insane threes, insane dunks, insane plays. I mean, JR brought that energy, man.
behind the scenes, he was battling his demons. JR had an addiction to speeding. Anytime he got behind the wheel of a car, nothing brought him more joy than burning some rubber. I mean,
Come on, bro.
in 2005 alone, he got 4 speeding tickets and 27 points docked on his driver's license. And not only that, the
Yikes.
dude had his license suspended 5 separate times. I didn't even know that was possible, but JR found a way. And because he's $1 million athlete, he had the best lawyer's money could buy, so
True.
he always got off easy. But eventually,
Bro, look at that stat line. Look at that stat line right now, real quick. I'm sorry, but look at that stat line.
so he always got off
34 points, 12 of 16 shooting. Bro, 5 out of 6 3-point. Oh my, bro, he was a beast in Denver, man. Straight up beast.
easy. But eventually, his addiction caught up with him, causing one of the worst tragedies the NBA has ever seen. And no amount of money was getting him out of this one. It was the summer of 2007. JR picked up his friends Carl and Andre to head to a cookout. The 3 boys were cruising, vibing to music, but for JR, this wasn't enough. There's only one thing that brings him joy.
Oh no.
So, before he knew it,
Come on,
he was
bro.
going 70 and a 35, running stop sign after stop sign.
Why?
JR was knocking on death's door, and all of a sudden,
Oh,
JR and his best friend Andre were laid out on the asphalt.
damn.
Turns out, JR had just driven into the middle of a busy intersection, causing another car to collide with him. And by some miracle, JR only sprained his left shoulder. But Andre
That's God right there,
wasn't
man.
as lucky. He suffered critical head injuries and had to be rushed to the hospital. But paramedics realized there wasn't much they could do. By the time Andre arrived at the hospital, his brain had 0 activity.
See, that's really sad, man. Cars ain't nothing to play around with, man. Cars are not toys, bro. You know, I speed, but I don't do reckless things like that. If that is the true story about what happened. If he was like running stop signs. I don't run stop signs. I might speed on the highway a little bit, but you know, I'm very conscientious of my, drivers around me. But that's just a tragic loss, man. It kind of makes me think about Paul Walker. Even though Paul Walker wasn't driving and his friend was driving, and I think they were just testing out this nice car. It's just, you gotta really treat a car with more respect than that. You know what I'm saying? But that's rough, bro.
And it wasn't long before he passed away.
That's sad, man.
Just think about that. JR's stupid decision to speed cost him his best friend's life. I think we all speed a little bit here and there, right? But after hearing this, we just gotta do better. Because This could have been any one of us.
Dead ass, man. That's sad.
But the story doesn't end there. JR had charges to face. Reckless driving, failure to obey a stop sign, speeding, and failure to wear a seatbelt. In a situation like this, the average person could serve 15 years to life in prison. If JR was convicted with these crimes, his basketball career would have been over. But luckily for JR, Andre's mother didn't want his life ruined over this. She knew what it was like to lose a son and didn't want to do that to another mother.
Wow.
So with that, JR only faced 90 days in jail, 500 hours of community service, and a license suspension for 2.
That took strength on the other mom's, on his best friend's mom's part, to not want JR to face any of those charges, man. Because some people may have felt like you are the person who caused his death, you know? So I want you to face the consequences. But that took a lot of strength, I must admit.
2 years. JR owes his freedom to Andre's mom. And as the trial progressed, it was hard for everyone in that courtroom. And it led to one of the most emotional moments in JR's life.
Like you said, it's something like this just happens and I just move on or just forget about it. It's impossible. Talk to my mother about it, my father. I mean, I can't talk to Dre. It's unbearable to deal with. People who've been in my situation, I can't even talk to them about it because they've gone through their own thing. And I am deeply sorry. I never intended this to happen. Dre's like my brother, just like Jamal, Kenny, and Demetrius. He's always there. I mean, it always has been. It just tears me up that it has to. I mean, it went down like that. I take full responsibility for everything that happened, but indeed, it was an accident. I mean, I know it's not going to bring him back. I apologize to everybody. I apologize to Mrs. Bell because I couldn't imagine what I would do if that was my daughter. I've thought about it. I have dreamt about it. I've dreamt about the shoe being on the other foot if it was me. Right after that.
That's man. That just that doesn't. It's just, this whole thing is just making me sad, bro. It's just tough being in that position. It really is.
Actually, me and my mother had this conversation, and I told her I wish it was the shoe was on the other foot.
Now, JR is not the only player that's had run-ins with the law. Some players break the law so much, they have to play NBA games while they're still in jail. Yeah. That's not a
KCP.
joke. I saw a video of Octavius Pope playing an NBA game while wearing an ankle monitor. And
for real? Dead ass? Is that for real? Did he actually do that? That's crazy.
It made me wonder, how is this even possible? Well, back in 2017, when Octavius played for the Pistons, one night, Detroit had lost a close game to Miami, 96-97.
Yeah.
So to lift his spirits, Octavius went out with the boys, turned up. Dude partied all the way till 3 a.m.
God dang.
That's when he made the worst decision of his entire life. After hours of drinking and partying, Octavius hopped in his car, put the keys in the ignition, and sped off, heavily under the influence. And that's when police clocked a Jeep Wrangler, going 45 and a 25. So, the cops pulled it over, and inside, they found a glossy-eyed Octavius completely smelled like alcohol. Cops started questioning him, and since Octavius was slurring his words and a breathalyzer test showed a blood alcohol level of 0.08, they decided to arrest him. And the worst part is, Octavius had other people in the car.
Oh man.
Lucky for him, he was only given a ticket for operating while intoxicated and was released from jail. But
okay.
Things only get worse from here.
Not too bad, though.
Octavius was put on a 12-month probation, and to stay out of jail, all he had to do was submit some alcohol and drug tests. Simple enough, right? Well, because he's a multi-million-dollar NBA player, he thought, I'm above the law. So he stopped submitting tests, and eventually, the law came knocking. He was sentenced to a 25-day jail sentence in Orange County, California, for violating his probation. And this happened while playing for the Lakers. But because Octavius is an NBA player, they let him out on a work release program where he basically was allowed to play in the NBA on one condition. He had to wear an ankle monitor, which you could literally see him wearing during games. And then after each game, he had to go back to jail. With such an amazing opportunity,
Wow. Imagine dropping like 20 points, 30 points, maybe like 10 rebounds, like maybe a triple double, a double double. You done had a great game and you tired as hell, but you got to go back to jail. That sucks, man.
like playing in the NBA, it comes with responsibility, but time and time again, players abuse it. And there's no better example of this.
Oh,
than what
Richard
Jason
Jefferson.
Richardson did to his
Oh,
kid.
Jason
Back in
Richardson.
2009,
My
Jason
bad.
was seen driving his Dodge Hellcat around Phoenix. And at first, undercover police spotted him going 67 and a 40, which was already dangerous. But then they decided to follow him after this, and things got intense. Jason sped up to 90 miles per hour.
Why?
35.
Oh my
That's
lord.
55 miles per hour over the speed limit. So at this point, they had to pull him over. When they walked up to his window, Jason admitted he was speeding. But then, police saw his 3-year-old son in the back without a car seat.
Come on, bruh.
They arrested Jason on the spot. He got charged with reckless driving, excessive speeding, and failure to use a child seat. And when the NBA found out, he was suspended without pay, costing him $111,000.
Ooh, that's a hefty ass fine. But I mean, just can't do that kind of stuff, and you're putting your child in danger too. That's really risky. But Jason Richardson was a great athlete, man. He had crazy dunks. He was a great all-around athlete. But you know, some of these players, man, they just have a lot of like off-court antics, man, that just cost them sometimes their lives and a lot of money.
That's how much 2 Hellcats cost. This man's a dumbass. Give me the Hellcat, alright? I'll get a child seat. Now, Jason was eventually released from jail after a few hours. And afterwards, he said, "I just want to apologize to my teammates, my family, especially my fiance. It's a tough time for me. I've been questioned as a basketball player, questioned as a person, but my fatherhood in question is tough because I try to be the best father I can be. Try
True.
to keep my kids out of harm's way." Doesn't really seem like it, Jason. You were going 90 miles per hour, and your kid wasn't even in a car seat. Irresponsible. But that's not the only thing Jason had to say. He went on to say that, "If you don't drop a like and subscribe to the channel, he's gonna take you for a drive. Yeah, that's right, with no seatbelt.
I really hate this guy's plugins, but I get it.
And I know you can't risk that, so what are you doing?" But anyways, at least this didn't ruin Jason's career. Sometimes, players commit crimes they never recover from. Like this next player. When police found out what Sebastian Telfair did, it ended his career.
What did he do?
It's really such a tragedy because in high school, Sebastian was unbelievable. He was averaging 33 points, 9 assists per game,
Damn.
and was practically unstoppable. So the headlines were literally calling him the next LeBron. And
No.
after Sebastian was drafted to the Blazers, you would think everything would be up from here, but his life ended up going downhill from here. He became a shell of his former self. And once he joined the NBA, he barely averaged 7 points a game. And then
What?
to make matters worse, in 2006, Sebastian's secret double life was exposed. The Blazers had just landed their private jet in Boston on their way to a game. This is when authorities saw something unusual in Sebastian's suitcase.
Which was
A
what?
loaded weapon. Even
Oh,
for an NBA player, this wasn't gonna fly in the airport.
this reminds me of Gilbert Arenas when he brought those guns to the locker room. And of course, it was this whole big deal because he got into an argument with a teammate. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see Agent Zero towards the end of this compilation, or this video rather.
Literally. Sebastian told police that he grabbed the wrong bag when he left. And that
Oh, nah.
it was actually his girl's luggage.
Oh,
hold
damn.
on. What the hell his girl need guns for? Anyways, after some investigating, it turned out he was telling the truth. So luckily, he escaped without any charges.
Dang.
For now. So, you'd think getting off easy, he'd make sure something like this never happens again, right?
Dodge a
Well,
bullet.
Just a year later, him and his friend found themselves in another controversy. Sebastian was seen driving his Range Rover at 77 miles per hour in a 45. And
Whoa.
he was driving with a suspended license. But it gets even worse. When police searched the car,
Oh,
they
shit.
found a loaded handgun under the seat that wasn't registered to either him or his girlfriend. So Sebastian couldn't blame it on his girl this time. And to no surprise, both Sebastian and his friend denied knowledge of it. An investigation took place, and the police didn't care whose it was. It was still in his car. So Sebastian pleaded guilty to criminal possession of a weapon.
Bro, like, I just don't understand how some of these athletes get in these, get in these positions, If I had this type of talent and I played in NBA, I would just be chilling. I would stay out of trouble. Now, I get it. When you have that type of, stardom, sometimes trouble finds you, but you got to be like a stand-up guy, stand-up person, and just, be able to have good discernment to not do dumb things. Don't hang around people that's going to put you in very compromising positions because it might F up your whole career and all your money. So just don't do it. That's just me personally, But what do I know?
Weapon, got 3 years probation, and a 3-game suspension from the NBA. At this point, this is strike number 2. If he messes up again, it could mean serious jail time. And with
Dresses
that,
like Neo.
Sebastian was a good boy for about a decade. But in 2017, the craziest arrest of them all happened. Sebastian and his friend were suspiciously driving a Ford F-150 around
Suspiciously.
Brooklyn. No headlights on, illegally parking. 2 undercover officers saw this and knew they were up to no good. So they pulled up, saw a lit joint in the dashboard, and decided to search the vehicle.
Come on, man.
What they found in the trunk was enough to land anyone in jail for 10 plus years.
Oh my
It's like
gosh.
Sebastian was ready for war or something.
See, this is what I'm saying.
And because of his criminal past, he wasn't gonna get let off the hook this time. He was facing 15 years in prison, and it was looking like there was no hope.
Stupid.
A 2-week trial took place, and eventually, Sebastian was found guilty and sentenced to 3.5 years in jail. But after a few appeals, Sebastian got off on a $500,000 bail and was sentenced to probation, where he was forced to wear an ankle monitor for the rest of his sentence. And just like that, another rich NBA player was let off easy. Now, a 3-year prison sentence, that's crazy. But starting a worldwide controversy, that's a crime we gotta talk about.
Oh,
LiAngelo Ball's arrest
LiAngelo.
was such a big deal that even Donald Trump had to get involved. It started back in 2017, while LiAngelo was in college at UCLA. There was a special game between them and Georgia Tech. The game was set to take place in China. Obviously, this is a new place for LiAngelo and his teammates. So when they arrived, they
Doesn't
decided
matter.
to explore the area. But that's when they made a mistake that could have left them in jail for life. See, there was a Louis Vuitton store right next to their hotel. And obviously, they have security and cameras everywhere.
Holy crap.
But for some reason, LiAngelo and his teammates decided to hit a lick anyways.
Why?
Camera. They were spotted stealing from the store, with
Oh my
LiAngelo grabbing
word.
a pair of Louis sunglasses. This dude just risked his entire career before it even began for a couple $100 pair of glasses.
It's stuff, dude, stuff like this it blows my mind because LeVar Ball and all of his sons, they're very well off. I mean, you just gotta, if you would just stay focused, then you're gonna be paid anyway. I mean, they already have money. So why do you need to go out and steal some Louis Vuitton sunglasses? You could probably afford it anyway. I mean, it's like, especially in a different place overseas where it has different laws and rules where you could be really fucked. I just don't understand, people. I'm sorry. Help me understand. I just don't get it.
And the crazy thing was, LiAngelo and the boys thought they'd get away with it. Until the next day, when police showed up to their hotel and arrested them. Now, if you don't know, in China, they do not take shoplifting lightly.
They don't play
especially if
around,
you're a
man.
foreigner. This story became such a huge deal that Donald Trump caught wind of it, and he saw an opportunity to improve his image. So he contacted President Xi Jinping to straighten things out. And after a few days, the 3 teammates were released.
Wow.
LiAngelo showed up to the Today Show.
You are
Broke
lucky,
down his
man.
ugly China experience.
We all went out one night, went to a Louis Vuitton store. People started taking stuff, and then, you know, me just not thinking and being with them, I took something too. And we left thinking we'll just get away. You know how kids think. I didn't realize till I got back to my hotel, I'm like, that was stupid, but by then it was too late. And then sure enough, the next morning, the police came and got us.
You think?
The night in jail?
We were in jail for a day and a half or something like that.
What was that like?
Oh, it was horrible. They take your clothes, you wear like whatever they have for you, a little jumpsuit or whatever, take your shoestrings, and then you just sit in the cement cell for.
Dumb.
It's just you and then all the officers, and they don't speak English.
I mean, I just hope LiAngelo learned his lesson, man. The only good thing I can say is, at least that reporter didn't ask him some dumbass question. I can't tell you how many times I've seen reporters get humiliated by NBA players.
For real.
There's been some pretty hilarious moments recently, and I got the video to catch you up. So click right here. These are the times NBA players humiliated reporters. Trust me, you want to see what Russell Westbrook did. He humiliated a reporter so bad, it should be illegal. So what are you doing?
I might have to watch that one too. Good compilation, or good video, I mean. I don't know why I keep saying compilations. I do a lot of compilations, people. See, the thing about it is, a lot of these stars and a lot of these players have all this money and stardom and fame, and like, sometimes it's really the people who you associate yourself with. You know, the people around you may not be the best people for you. You know what I'm saying? They might be a bad influence for you. So, I'm not saying that all these cases were about people that they knew. A lot of them was like 100% on them, you know what I mean? But a lot of these cases, you know, it could have been easily avoided if you maybe had better friends, if you had thought this through. Because if you want to be a basketball player, you just gotta stay focused on your purpose. If you just stay on your purpose, I don't think that none of this stuff would really happen, you know what I mean? But you know, a lot of these kind of things happen like to a lot of different athletes. You know, I don't know if you guys know about the Aaron Hernandez case, but that was crazy. But I don't know, athletes sometimes just don't know how to, you know, they don't know how to deal with all the fame and fortune that comes with being a superstar player or a well-known athlete. So good video, really good video. The story about J.R. Smith was very sad. Very sad. And I don't encourage anybody to go out and run stop signs and, you know, be under the influence and stuff like that. Be careful, people. But if you enjoy my reaction, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Subscribe to The Rebound. He has great content. And I'll see you guys in the next reaction video. Peace!